Good morning, children. Children, how are you? Yeah, I'm fine. Are you all right? Are you learning? Have you understand the lessons which I taught you? Okay. Today we are going to see about the exercises of the first lesson, history, advent of the Europeans. Children, all take out your books. Take page number 8. This is the first lesson, history, page number 8. I'll say the answers for the exercises. First, Roman letter 1. Choose the correct answer. Are you ready? Shall I start? Okay, children. Question number 1. Who laid the foundation of Portuguese power in India? For that, you have 4 options. The correct answer is C. Alfonso de Albuquerque. Okay, question number 2. Which of the following European nation was the foremost attempt to discover a sea route to India? Among 4 options, the correct answer is B. Portugal. And the third question, question number 3. In 1453, Constantinople was captured by dash. The correct answer is B. The Turks. Question number 4. Sir William Hawkins belonged to dash. 4 options. Among them, the correct answer is C. England. And question number 5. The first fort constructed by the British in India was dash. The correct answer is B. Fort St. George. ST, that you have to say Saint. So, answer is Fort St. George. And question number 6. Who among the following Europeans were the last to come India as traders? Question number B. That is the answer is the correct answer is B. The French. Letter 1. Among choose the correct answer. 7 questions are there. Okay. So now we finish the 7 choose. And now we pass on to the Roman letter 2, that is fill in the blanks. Shall I say? Okay. Now the first one. National Archives of India, that is NAI, is located in New Delhi. Yes, some of you are saying the correct answer. Very good, children. Here, the second one. Bartholomew Dias, a Portuguese sailor, was patronized by King John II. The Roman letter 2, Roman letter 3, Roman letter 1, and the Mari or name next to that, if you find out, you have to say King John II. Okay. So, question number 2. Bartholomew Dias, a Portuguese sailor, was patronized by, the answer is King John II. Okay. And question number 3. The printing press in India was set up by dash at Goa in 1556. The answer is Portuguese. Question number 4. The Mughal Emperor dash permitted the English to trade in India. Answer is the Mughal Emperor Jahangir. Okay. And fifth one. The French East India Company was formed by Colbert. Colbert, he is. Okay. Yeah. Question number 6. Dash. The King of Denmark issued a charter to create Danish East India Company. Yeah. He was the Christian IV. Christian, the king. Christian the Fourth. Now, Roman letter 3, match the following. In the left hand side, you have the country's name. Countries. The Dutch, the British. British is the Great Britain. We are saying no, British, the Danish, the French, the people. Understand? When they came to India, and or else we can say the East India Company, when they formed in India. Okay. The Dutch, they started the settlement in India in the year 1616. For first one, the Dutch, the answer is 1616. And second, the British, the answer is 1600. 1600. Third one, the Danish, that is 1664. Sorry, the Danish 1602. The third one 1602. And French only 1664. That is the French East India Company. It was started in 1664. Okay, now Roman letter 4, that is true or false. From the lower classes you know how to write this. True or else you have to write the false. Understand? If it is true, it's okay. If it is false, you have to say why it is false. Then what is the correct statement for that? Because you are in 8th standard. Understand, children? I'll say. Question number 1. Autobiography is one of the written sources. Autobiography, you all know that it is the written sources. It is written by a particular person about him. It is called as autobiography. It is a written source only. Yes, you are saying is correct. True. And second, question number 2. Coins are one of the material sources. Yes, very good, children. True. And question number 3. Anandarangam was a translator served under British. Yeah, somebody are saying it's false. Very good, children. Because Anandarangam was a translator served under French. Okay. Yeah, question number 4. The place where historical documents are preserved is called archives. It's true only. Children, you are very brilliant, very bright. On seeing the questions itself, you are answering. I know. If you are in the class, I can give you chocolates and I can encourage you. But because of this online, I can't able to cheer up you. While you are coming to school, we'll play the game. Okay? Next. Roman letter 5. That is, consider the following statements and tick correct the appropriate answer. Okay, ma? Question number 1. Governor Nino de Cunha moved the Portuguese capital from Cochin to Goa. And second statement, Portuguese were the last to leave from in India. Third statement, the Dutch founded their first factory at Surat. And fourth statement is, Sir Thomas Roe was sent to Jahangir's court by King James I of England. Here, for these 4 statements, they would have given the 4 options. Which one is correct, you have to say. Among these 4 statements, 3 only are correct. That is, first one, second one, and fourth one. Okay. So, among the options, the correct answer is D. That is, Governor Nino de Cunha moved Portuguese capital from Cochin to Goa. and the Portuguese were last to leave from in India. And fourth statement, Sir Thomas Roe was sent to Jahangir's court by King James I of England. Okay. Now, Roman letter 5. In that, question number 2. Find out the wrong pair. Here, they gave you some pairs. You have to find out the wrong. Which one is wrong? You have to see. 3 are correct. 1 only is wrong. You have to find it out. Okay, we'll see. I'll say that Francis Day, he belonged to Denmark. Pedro Gabriel, he belonged to Portugal. Captain Hawkins belonged to Britain. And Colbert belonged to France. Here children, you say which one is wrong? Yeah, someone you are saying first one, Francis Day. That is Denmark. It's only wrong pair. Okay. Next is Roman letter 6. Answer the following in 1 or 2 sentences. It's page number 9. Children, all take out your books. All are having your books, no? Yeah. You just see page number 9, Roman letter 6. Answer the following in 1 or 2 sentences. Now, question number 1. Give a short note on archives. Answer. Shall I say? Archives is a place where historical documents are preserved. The National Archives of India, that is NAI, is located in New Delhi. It is the chief storehouse of the records of the Government of India. It's the place of historical documents which are preserved. Here in museum we can see. In Egmore we have a museum. There we can see all it's belong to historical monuments, the historical, all the past, everything they are preserved in museum. But the archives are the place, is the place where the historical documents are preserved. It is in New Delhi, located in New Delhi. Okay, children? Yeah, we'll pass on to question number 2. Write about the importance of coins. What are coins, ma? Yeah, the gold and silver coins which were during the period. What we are saying rupee now. Now we are saying it as rupee or 10 rupees coin, 5 rupees coin. Like that at that time, many Indian, the historical heroes, they had golden coin, even silver coin, copper coins. Understand? Not only write about the importance of coins. Answer is, coins are a good source to know about administrative history. As compared to the literary sources, the chances of manipulation is very less in case of coins. Thus, they are an authentic archaeological sources. Here in archaeological sources we have 3 kinds, that is inscriptions, monuments and coins. Among all that, only little sources we can know from the coins. Understand? Okay, question number 3. Why Prince Henry is called Henry the Navigator? Why Prince Henry is called Henry the Navigator? Answer. Prince Henry of Portugal, who is commonly known as the Navigator, encouraged his countrymen to take up the adventurous life of exploring the unknown regions of the world. Here this Prince Henry, he was the king of Portugal. He was called as the Navigator. Understand? He encouraged his countrymen to take up, to discover new sea routes for the unknown regions of the world. So, he was called as the Navigator. Henry the Navigator. Okay. Now, question number 4. Name the important factories established by the Dutch in India. The answer is, after their arrival in India, the Dutch founded their first factory in Masulipatinam, that is in Andhra Pradesh, in the year 1605. The other important factories in India were Pulicat, Surat, Chinchura, Kasimbazar, Patna, Nagapatnam, Balasore and Cochin. So these are the Dutch settlements in India. Important Dutch factories in India. Okay. Now question number 5. Mention the trading centers of English in India. What are the trading centers? We'll see. Where the English have the trading centers. The English had established their trading centers at Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad and Bhuj. Here, in these places, the English, they have the trading centers. Okay. Now, we'll pass on to Roman letter 7. That is, answer the following in detail. In this, we have 3 detailed answers. One by one, I'll say the answers now. First one, question number 1. Children, are you following me? Can you able to follow? Or you understand? Yeah. Now, see. Answer. First one, I'll read out the question. Give an account of the sources of modern India. Answer. First point. The sources for the history of modern India help us to know the political, socio-economic and cultural developments in the country. And the second point, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, the Danes and the English recorded their official translations in India on state papers. And the third point, history can be written with the help of written sources and material sources. And the fourth point, written sources are, after the advent of the printing press, books were published in different languages. People began to acquire knowledge easily in the fields like art, literature, history and science. Fourth point, listen children, again I read out. Written sources, after the advent of the printing press kandupidichanga. Advent of the printing press na kandupidicha peragu, books were published in different languages la publish pannanga. Okay. People began to, for what purpose? People began to acquire knowledge easily in the fields like art, literature, history and science. Okay. Fifth point. Written sources include literatures, travel accounts, diaries, autobiographies, pamphlets, government documents and manuscripts. Sixth one, archives. Already we learned, the storage of books. Okay. It has main source of information for understanding past administrative machinery as well as a guide to the present and future generations related to all matters. Then seventh point, material sources. Now, paintings and statues are the main sources of modern history which provide information about national leaders and historical personalities and their achievements. Okay, now the eighth point, historical buildings and museums preserve and promote our cultural heritage. And the ninth one, coins are a good source to know about administrative history, as well as we can find out economic activities of the country also. Okay, coins, they are very much useful. And now, the question number 2. Yeah. Question number 2. The question is, how did the Portuguese establish the trading centers in India. How they came to India? Who are all came to India? In which years? Understand? How they established the trading centers in India? Now we are going to see. First, children listen. While you are reading the question itself, you have to first understand the question, the meaning of the question. What is the question is asking? About whom? About what? About when? About where? About which? நீங்களே அதிலே ஒரு question நீங்க create பண்ணிக்கணும். How did the Portuguese establish the trading centers in India? For that, எப்ப வந்தாங்க? How they came? When they came? From where they came? Who are all they came? When they started the trading centers? Where they started the trading centers? It is profitably or not? That and all you have to answer. Okay, ma? Shall I say the answers now? One by one point I will say. First point. In AD 1498, Vasco da Gama reached Calicut, where he was cordially received by King Zomorin. At that time, Calicut was ruled by King Zomorin. Okay, he invited this Vasco da Gama, he was the ruler of Calicut. A second Portuguese navigator, Pedro Alvarez Gabriel, sailed towards India in 1500. Next 2 years. Actually, Vasco da Gama, he reached Calicut in the year 1498. This Pedro, he came to India in 1500. Now, second point. Vasco da Gama come to India for the second time in 1501 with 20 ships and founded a trading center at Kannanur. Third point, one after another, they established factories at Calicut and Cochin. Fourth point, King Zomorin attacked the Portuguese in Cochin but was defeated. Fifth one, Cochin was the first capital of the Portuguese East India Company. Sixth point, in 1505, Francisco de Almeida. Say children, repeat me. Francisco de Almeida was sent as the first governor for the Portuguese possessions in India. Okay, seventh point. This Francisco de Almeida had the aim of developing the naval power of the Portuguese in India. His policy was known as the Blue Water Policy. Who followed the Blue Water Policy? Almeida. Understand? Eighth point. Sultans of Bijapur and Gujarat were also apprehensive of the expansion of Portuguese control of ports, which led to an alliance between Egypt, Turkey and Gujarat against Portuguese invaders. இவங்கெல்லாம் join பண்ணிட்டாங்க. Egypt, Turkey and Gujarat, they joined together and they attacked the Portuguese invaders. Have you understand, children? Okay. Ninth point. In a naval battle fought near Chaul, the combined Muslim fleet won a victory over the Portuguese fleet under Almeida's son. Here, already we learnt during I'm taking the lesson, I told you, in this battle near Chaul, Almeida's son, he was killed by the combined army of the Muslims, Egypt, Turkey and Gujarat. They defeated the Portuguese. Okay, we saw. And now the 10th point. Almeida defeated the combined Muslim fleet in a naval battle near Dayu, and by the year 1509, Portuguese claimed the naval supremacy in Asia. Here in the children 9th point you see, Almeida's son was killed by the combined army, the Muslim fleet. Understand? பையனை சாகடிச்சா டாடி சும்மா இருப்பாங்களா? So Almeida got angry. He was a Portuguese governor. Okay, so again in 1509 he attacked this Muslim kings, Gujarat, Egypt kings, and he defeated them they defeated the Muslim fleet in the naval battle near Dayu. Dayu is a place. And by the year 1509, Portuguese claimed the naval supremacy all over Asia, in Asia. Okay. And the 11th point, the real founder of the Portuguese power in India was Alfonso de Albuquerque. Say all of you, Alfonso de Albuquerque, who captured Goa and established the Portuguese authority over Ormuz in Persian Gulf. 12th point, Governor Nino de Cunha moved capital from Cochin to Goa in 1530. In 1534, he acquired Bassein from Bahadur Shah of Gujarat in 1537. Yes, last one, 13th point. During the 16th century, Portuguese succeeded in capturing Goa, Dayu, Daman, Salcete, Bassein, Chaul and Bombay. Children, repeat it to me. During the 16th century, Portuguese succeeded in capturing Goa, Daman, Dayu, Salcete, Bassein, Chaul and Bombay on the western coast, Hooghly on the Bengal coast and Santome on the Madras coast, and enjoy good trade benefits. Okay. Next, we'll pass on to question number 3. How did the British establish the trading centers in India? In the second question, we saw about the Portuguese establishment, the trading centers in India. Now, the third question, in this, we are going to see about the British establishment, trading centers in India. Shall I start? Okay, the first point. In 1600, Queen Elizabeth, Elizabeth, the Queen of England, granted a charter to the Governor and Company of Merchants of London to trade with East Indies. First, Queen of England, she was Queen Elizabeth. She only gave a letter, understand, to the Governor in 1600 to start a trading center with East Indies. Second point, the company was headed by a governor and a court of 24 directors. So, on the company la East India Company la how many members? A governor and 24 directors. So, totally 25 persons. Third one, Captain Hawkins visited Jahangir's court and secured permission to raise a settlement at Surat, which was cancelled later. Fourth one, in 1612, the English captain Thomas Beast inflicted a severe defeat over the Portuguese in a naval battle near Surat. Fifth point, the Mughal Emperor Jahangir permitted the English to establish the factory in 1613 at Surat, which became the headquarters of the English in Western India. And the sixth point, Captain Nicholas Downton won another decisive victory over the Portuguese in 1614, the next year. Okay. Seventh point, this enhanced the British prestige at the Mughal court. So the Britishers, they developed the prestige in the Mughal period. Okay, Mughal court. And the eighth point, in 1615, Sir Thomas Roe was sent to Jahangir's court by King James I of England to succeed in concluding a commercial treaty with the emperor. Now, ninth point, before the departure of Sir Thomas Roe, the English had established the trading centers at Surat, Agra, Ahmedabad and Bhuj. So, these are the detailed answers, children. You have to, it's easy for you to learn because one day you just learn one question. Point by point I am giving. No, so it will be easy for you to learn. Don't write like a paragraph. You just write like this. Point by point only you have to write. In 10th standard also, in the public exam, the examiners, those who are correcting your papers, they'll expect like this only. For that only we are preparing like this. We are following like this. Don't write as a paragraph. You have to write like point by point. Okay, children? Okay. Next, we'll see Roman letter 8. That is map work. Children, listen carefully. In this map, on the river map of India, mark the following trading centers of the Europeans. They would have given 8 places. Here they gave you 8 places. Children, you just take page number 4 in your book. In your history book, you take page number 4. In that, you can see a river map of India. There, you can see the European trade centers. They gave you the places: Calicut, Cochin, Madras, Pondicherry, Surat, Chinsura, Pulicat and Calcutta. Here for that you have to write these places belongs to which European country. Can you able to follow? Now one by one I'll say you. First you write it down, ma. Children, you write it down. In this they didn't give you the answers now, so you have to write. Next to Calicut, first Calicut, it belongs to Portuguese settlement. Okay, Portuguese. Calicut, Portuguese. Second one also Portuguese. Here Calicut, you can see down in south of India, in Kerala. Can you see Kerala, ma? Down? Yes, near Indian Ocean. Top of Indian Ocean, Calicut. It's belong to P, potrikula bracket la. P means Portugal. Okay. Yeah, Calicut, it belongs to Portugal. Calicut bottom liye enna irukku? Cochin. It also belong to Portugal. Okay. Next, what they ask you? Madras. Madras in the Bay of Bengal side. In the eastern side you can see Madras. It belongs to English settlements. English trading center. E, Putrika English, Madras. Next, fourth one, Pondicherry they gave you. Pondicherry belongs to French settlement. French trading center. F, Putukno, French. And fifth one, Surat. Surat, middle of India. A line passes over through India, that is Tropic of Cancer. That line. Okay. In the middle of India, near Bombay, you can see this Surat. It belongs to English. Okay. Then next one, Chinsura. Chinsura, it's near, that is Bangladesh. Top of Bay of Bengal, you just see in the map. Chinsura. Yes, very good. Kandipidichittingala? Good children. You are very brilliant, very intelligent. You are very shrewd. Chinsura belongs to Dutch settlement. DU. That is Dutch. Dutch settlement. Next, Pulicat. Top of Madras. Okay, top of Madras. It belongs to Dutch settlement. Pulicat also Dutch settlements only. And last one, Calcutta. Calcutta, it's near Bangladesh. Chinsura, near Chinsura, that is, Calcutta belongs to English settlement. E, you have to write, English settlement. Okay, children? If it is belong to Portuguese settlement, you have to write Portuguese, then Dutch, French, English. Like that you have to write. While you are coming to school, this is homework for you. You just buy one river map of India and you mark the settlement in that during these days, and while you are coming to school, you have to bring the map. Okay, children? Those who did well, I'll give you chocolates to you. Okay, I'll put good and star to you. Okay, ma? Now, Roman letter 9, HOTS. Question number 1. How did the fall of Constantinople affect the European nation? It is in page number 10 in your book. The answer. The fall of Constantinople was the end of an era for Europe as it severely hurt traders in the European region. And second point, the land route between India and Europe was closed. The Turks penetrated into North Africa and the Balkan Peninsula. And the third point, it became imperative on the part of the European nations to discover new sea routes to the east. So these are the reasons, and we can know how did the fall of Constantinople affect the reason, and what is the reason, what is the result of the fall of Constantinople affect the European nation. Children, you are in 8th standard, you have to learn carefully. You come to the higher classes, high school. From 7th, you come to pass on to 8th. From 8th, that is, we can say it is high school. Understand? You have to pronounce all the words stylishly. You have to converse in English only. Spoken is very important, and side by side you have to know the spelling also. How to, because some places and some of the names it will be difficult for you to pronounce. So side by side you just write it down, and side by side while I'm saying no, you repeat the names, then only it will be easy for you to learn. Children, those who are not having book, you tell your parent to pay the fees and collect the books, then only you can learn. Okay, children, thank you.